I'm loving the switch in pace of those melodies when we were entering our match. First of all, it sounds really epic, and then of course we got the aggressive almost intro for our top 32 match right here. Fire King versus Purrely. We are finally going to see the Fire King strategy again. We've been talking about it a lot this weekend. It is, as Basti said, a rogue strategy, because really so many people do not know what the cards do. A lot of them have to do with destruction.
Absolutely. And on the other hand, we have Giuseppe, who won the die roll with his Purrely strategy. But let me tell you, it's not only Purrely, but it's once again the Purrely Sprite strategy. And it's interesting to see that this Purrely Sprite strategy, oh my god, is actually more successful this weekend than the regular Purrely strategy. So I didn't expect that, to be honest.
I mean, have you tried it? I'm curious, because it does seem very cool, and you know, it gives you a few extra things to do. One of the things that I found about the Purrely deck is it's not very explosive at the beginning of the game.
Fair.
Compared to a lot of other decks. So playing it with the Sprite engine, which is now known to be very explosive, you know, you get one monster and then all of a sudden you have 4 in play, and then it does quite a lot. So I can see how they would fit together quite nicely.
Yeah, okay, and we go Sleepy Memory, discard, Pretty Memory, getting out the Purrely. That, of course, immediately fetches out the My Friend Purrely. Here we go, Giuseppe on his way to go for a big combo.
But Basti, I think you missed a little bit that we have 4 Purrelys in the top cut, and 2 of them are with Sprite. And
oh, it's
50-50,
yeah. Okay. But I think by now, in top 32, we have a higher success rate of Purrely Sprite
really?
now. Yeah, I think so.
Oh, and now we have normal some Nimble Beaver. That is something that is maybe going to surprise Kevin a little bit.
Yeah. But the thing about, if you don't know, if you are not aware of how Top Cuts are looking at European Championship events, the Top Cut area is a separated area, basically, where all the players left in the tournament are playing, except the ones, of course, here in the featured match. And the funny thing and the cool thing is that the person that you are going to face next, potentially, is playing next to you as well the round before. So these 2 guys were set next to each other in top 64. So they probably already know what their opponent is on, just by looking to the left or to the right for one singular time, and therefore it's probably no surprise here.
I was wondering if it was an issue that Giuseppe's prevented himself from summoning anything that's not level 2, but it looks like actually no, it's fine, because even though the Purrely is level 1, the XYZ it summons is level 2.
Yeah, indeed. So My Friend Purrely, but that means he can at least not bring out the Purrely anymore. It's interesting to see a Purrely deck that only plays 2 Purrely and 2 Purrely, because those are like the cards you absolutely are maxing out on, because those are the ones that you play in the regular Purrely deck. But now, with the mixture of Purrely and Sprite, you can afford to just run 2 of them. And it seems like we are going to reveal 3 different cards again here for Giuseppe. Happy Memory, Sleepy Memory, and Delicious Memory. Of course, we cannot reveal more than one Delicious Memory, because this card is limited currently. Let's see whether he still gets it with a 33% chance. What are we picking up here?
Well, we don't know.
We will see shortly, though, maybe. Also, it's good for Giuseppe that he already has access to Sleepy Memory, because Purrely can now just transform into Purrely Noir, and then we can also, through that, get access to Purrely, of course, and that exactly is what's going to happen here.
Yeah, it's such a big upgrade having the Purrely Noir.
Totally.
Yeah. This card really opens you up to play the Sprites, you know, because you don't have to focus so heavily on your Purrelys. You can just go for 1 Noir, and later on you will be able to set your Purrely anyways. You don't have to dig through your entire deck the entire time.
So it does seem like we picked up the Sleepy Memory there, because that is the next card we activated. So we did not get access to the Delicious Memory there.
I think Sleepy Memory seems very happy here. Well, it's not happy, it's sleepy, but you know, it seems like a very good pick. Drawing 2 and then activating the Purrely, and then you can draw 2 more. That's a lot of draws.
Yeah, indeed. But I think usually the Purrely strategy plays a lot of non-engine in form of hand interactions, like Effect Veilers, Ash Blossoms, Nibiru's, and so on. But now that we have to also fit in the Sprite engine, it's not that much space anymore that you have for that. So the draws in standby phase are not that meaningful anymore compared to the regular Purrely strategy, I want to say. I mean, at the end of the day, he still found space for triple Ash Blossom and one Effect Veiler and triple Nibiru as well. So it's actually not that bad.
And
he has space. Yeah, but this one, of course, is not that great to draw in the standby phase of your opponent's turn.
Actually a very good
but
point.
look at that. We have not even used Nimble Angler yet. Just summoning out Sprite Sprint, sending that Nimble Angler to the graveyard to get 2 beavers to the field.
And this is a really powerful field right now. He can go for IP Masquerena under the Sprite Sprint. Would make the... what's it called?
We go for a rank 2. Mannequin Cat it is. Okay, that usually is a card that is kind of coming in game 2 and 3 because you can specifically summon out cards to counter your opponent's deck. Oh, and there's a third Sleepy Memory. I think Giuseppe wants to draw a lot of cards here. Holy guacamole.
That is going to be a lot of draws in the standby phase 6 if you activate the Purrely. And with this, you also guarantee that your Noir is going to be unaffected. But wow, we even have a Happy on here as well.
Yeah, it was pretty, but still,
pretty,
it is he's happy and pretty right now, I would say, because that is going to be a really, really big Noir that is coming out of all of this. Okay, so that's the first draw. Giuseppe asking, do you want to cut my deck again? But Kevin says, it's fine, you're going to draw 6 cards. Whatever I'm cutting here, you're probably going to draw it anyway, so we don't need to do that. There comes Purrely. So we're transforming the E-Purrely Noir into X-Purrely Noir. And that one is just going to do the same thing again now. Just 3 more cards, and we drew the same amount of cards that Kevin is now starting his turn with just in his standby phase.
Oh, that is absolutely incredible, and the X-Purrely Noir also can shuffle back so many cards. The Sprite Sprint is there as well, and we also have the Mannequin Cat, but we have seen some pretty neat side deck cards for the Mannequin Cat. What is the Mannequin? Look at this tower of a card. This is half a book already. What can the Mannequin Cat summon out?
I'm wondering, just maybe summons a Sprite monster. Maybe that's it.
Oh, that's a good idea, for sure.
Maybe just get out Sprite Red.
Yeah.
I can't think of what else you do.
I mean, if you know that you're playing versus Fire King, then this is pretty easy to summon out the Fire Attribute.
That's actually a pretty clever move then. Okay, but that is just going to be a normal summon here for Kevin. And Kevin is going to start things off with the Arvata.
All right, so he is still playing, and he's not scooping this up against this absolutely massive field and hand that Giuseppe has right now. So I think that there is maybe a way for the Fire Kings to play through this. Let's see.
I mean, if one can do it, then it's Kevin, because he brought this deck all the way to top 32 here. So he probably had some very intense duels all the way around. And I think I see another Avatar in his hand. Okay, Sanctuary first of all, though. Is Giuseppe going to respond to that? Or will he just let Kevin play for now?
If you aren't fussed by the Sanctuary's other effects, you could just let the island resolve, and then when the island is activated, you could chain the Purrely Noir, and then you'd not have to worry about Kevin having another copy in his hand. But other than that, it seems very minor.
That is true, but then you open up your Noir to be affected by card effects, because you only, I think it's 6 materials, right?
Yeah, but you can never sit on this Noir forever, because the Purrely will return it to the extra deck during your next end phase if it's still on the field. So you can't just sit on this as the sort of strategy that some people like to play. You have to make it the proper way if you want to do that.
Yeah, that's true, indeed. So one of the outs that players sometimes have against X-Purrely Noir is, of course, the Underworld Goddess, which we also saw this weekend before, but I can tell you there's no Underworld Goddess in the extra deck of Kevin.
Only fire monsters.
Only fire. No, not really. There are a couple of others, but... Oh, wait. At the bottom of the extra deck, there is Underworld Goddess. So it is... I didn't scroll far enough, but there is an Underworld Goddess. Oh, and Giuseppe is just going to use the double cross here on the Avatar.
And that is going to be quite interesting. Which effect is he trying to activate? Is he trying to take it over to put it into the sprint zone? Is he reacting to a possible Fire King Island effect? Because then Fire King Island could also destroy something from the hand.
I would think we would just try to attach this as a material to the Mannequin Cat, because that's just safer than taking it over, I would assume.
Can you attach it to the Noir? Does it have to attach to a rank 2, or you just have to control a rank 2?
Has to attach to a rank 2.
I'm pretty sure you have to do that. Yeah, okay. And no, okay. He does just take it over, putting it into the zone that Sprite Sprint is pointing to.
That is a little risky, because will it get the effect for Kevin if it's destroyed, even while Giuseppe
That's a good question, yeah. That's why I was wondering about it. When you just put it underneath the Mannequin Cat, that would have not happened for sure.
Nothing yet destroys XYZ materials. you can destroy things in your deck,
Yeah,
your
it's
hand.
just if this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, so it doesn't really matter from which side of the field that happens.
Oh, and I think this is also one of the newer Fire King cards. We have discussed this
Absolutely, yeah.
before. This is the Rangbali.
Yeah, and Rangbali is interesting because Rangbali basically is comparable to a card that Giuseppe is also using in his deck, because it's kind of Sprite Carrot, but just for Fire Kings, and you have to destroy one card out of your hand, which is perfectly fine for Fire Kings, Bo.
Yeah, very similar effect to the Arvata, but instead
Yep.
lets you negate spells and traps.
Totally, totally. So, Sprite Red, and that means Kevin is not going to win this. Giuseppe, with his Purrely Sprite strategy, is taking down game number 1 in impressive fashion, honestly. He actually played around Triple Tactic Talons very well there. He didn't want to activate any monster effects. He went with Double Cross, and he was just chilling on all of his monster effects, and it was enough already.
I love the fact that it plays around talents. It's like, what do you mean you know you played around talents? You activated 6 monster effects already this turn, and you're telling me none of them were in the main phase?
Yep, that's true.
And it was the same one every single time.
6 cards off of Sleepy Memory. That is a pretty impressive start. We have not really addressed Purrely at all in our discussions about the winning deck for the tournament. What are we thinking? Is it maybe finally time for the deck? I think I mentioned once that it hasn't had a singular YCS win. It only was part of a 3v3 winning team. But besides that, no wins for Purrely so far. So is it time this weekend?
I mean, I think Purrely has its weakness in Game 2 and Game 3. So if there are cards in the side deck, then they hit Purrely pretty hard. You are very reliant on summoning this one-win condition, the X-Purrely Noir. Of course, there are also other options. We've also seen the Mannequin Cat, which is pretty cool. You have a double cross. I really like the Sprite variant in this format, because you can now extend your field from just being a Noir with a lot of resources. But if this Noir gets outed, it is pretty hard to come back.
Yeah, the thing is that Sprite variant of the deck really solved this problem to some extent, because now just XYZ, what's the quick play spell that just puts it back into the extra deck? Encore isn't that impressive anymore when you still have Sprite Red and Sprite Sprint there or something.
Or Carrot too.
Carrot as well. It's just actually totally fine, and I think this might be the solution to all of this. And also, additionally, I want to say, people probably were cutting on this card specifically because they were not as scared of Purrely anymore.
But you think you should be scared?
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean, he's sitting here in top 32, so maybe some people made the mistake of not respecting it anymore. And Kevin, I'm looking here at his side deck, is not crazily prepared for the Purrely matchup either. One card that kind of is working well against Noir is Skill Drain. The thing is, if you go second versus that, they can just shuffle it away in the end phase, so Skill Drain doesn't seem that scary anymore, to be honest. But now, going first, it's probably going to be a card he's going to bring in, I would assume.
Yeah, Skill Drain seems like an immensely powerful card going first against almost anything, with the possible exception of Labyrinth, which plays it themselves.
Yeah. One card that is there is evenly matched, also in the side deck of Heaven. So right now, of course, going first, but going second, that could be a solution to the big Purrely or Purrely Sprite fields, because they have to leave X-Purrely Noir on the field. And then if you start playing, at some point, maybe you can outgrind them because you have to use all the effects.
They might have a Carrot, though. I think that maybe if you want to go for a gigantic Sprite line, then you don't have to summon the red. You are Nibiru protected, so you might go for a Carrot later on to protect your field from Lightning Storm, which has picked up in popularity as well. But the players are ready, as you can already see. So let's go right into Game 2.
And there we go. Kevin now going first, hopefully being able to show us once again what Fire Kings are able to do now with the support of the new structure deck.
Oh, and it's going to be interesting to see, because I had a little peek at Giuseppe's hand. I think I saw 2 Ash Blossoms.
Oh, okay. One usually enough, but I mean, we'll take 2. Oh no, is that... Okay, I think we just clarified to go into the main phase. It looked like a Paris for a second, but no, there's Sanctuary. And Sanctuary, of course, is going to activate the Fire King Island from our deck. And once again, that cannot be met with Ash Blossom because we're directly activating it from our deck.
What do you think? Do you think this is a good thing to Ash? Because I feel like it's an excellent thing to Ash. Giuseppe agrees.
And he does, immediately responding with Ash Blossom on the Fire King Island.
I mean, that is the Ash Blossom joke point. You can't Ash the Sanctuary, but you can still always Ash the Fire King Island, which actually does look like a cool place to take a vacation to.
Oh, looks dangerous to me. Oh, but Kevin has the Ponix. Normal summon Ponix is huge here. That is the card that now the entire deck is evolving around, and having it hard drawn here definitely helps Kevin immensely. And he's searching out a card that he even included twice in his main deck, and it's Fire King Skyburn. A very, very neat new addition to the deck as well.
And I think that this card is just absolutely crazy. How players are not running 20 copies of this is beyond me. You can actually destroy any amount of Fire King monsters on your side of the field. Oh, we are extending this even further. And then you can destroy an equal amount on the side of your opponent's field. And then you can destroy multiple cards with just one card that you set to your side of the field. And you can trigger all of the effects of it. So this is really strong.
Yeah, I do agree. I see more and more why you like the card totally. So we are searching for the Diabellstar Witch here, and of course that is going to find its way to the field very shortly too. Just having a quick read of Fire King Skyburn. Maybe Giuseppe heard us saying this card is really good, so you maybe should read it again.
I hope he didn't, to be honest.
No, absolutely not. No way.
Are there any other level 1 fires that you want to summon?
Let me check. I think in Kevin's version of the deck, I don't think there is any, because he's not playing the Snake Eye monsters.
Oh, wow.
And therefore, I think it's more and more standard to not, or like, what am I saying more and more? Because the deck is around since 2 days, or maybe 3 at this point. But usually I don't think you play the Snake Eye cards.
So here, what, we're just going to make a rank 1, I reckon.
Potentially.
Sylvan Princess Sprout.
We are going to see very soon. We might as well go for 1 Linkuriboh and then end on SP Masquerena. That could also be something.
SP Little Knight or
SP
IP
Little Knight,
Masquerena?
more likely.
SP Masquerena, let's go. All right. No, I'm sorry.
That's both of the effects.
All right, so we are going to draw 1 card here. There we go. Kevin refreshing his hand even more. Trying to, of course, draw into cards that will have an impact on his opponent's turn. Cards like Nibiru, cards like Ash Blossom and all that kind of stuff.
He could just leave both Ponix to be destroyed with the Skyburn as well.
Yeah, that doesn't sound too bad. Look at that. Setting 2 cards. He's trying to have enough monsters on the field, so the Skyburn is an impactful interruption. And yeah, I like that. This might be enough, but we will see in a second, because now it's the turn of Giuseppe, and he has this field to overcome.
Oh, and there is a trap card in the hand of Giuseppe. It might actually not be an evenly matched, because I think that would have been the first thing to come down to the field here. We are normal summoning the Nimble Beaver immediately after this effect, having 2 monsters on the field, which I find quite interesting, to be honest.
Yeah, immediately starting things off with that. Kevin thinking about things. Also, Giuseppe made the decision so quickly, right? He did almost not think about it. And whenever my opponent moves like that, having like the instant reaction, having the instant move of what to do, I'm always assuming that they have no real option but to do that, right? So maybe that is the only card that they can summon here. Maybe that's the only monster they have, the only move they have to start with. And then I'm very likely to interact with it, because maybe they don't have anything after. Okay, but now there's the Nimble Angler on the field.
Are the Nimble monsters bigger than the Ponixes?
That's a good question.
I actually do not think so.
Because they're all very small. Everything in play is very small.
Oh, I think, wait, Nimble Beaver does it have 200 or 400 attack?
So we can run over both of them here. So because
you can run over one.
One of them is in defense.
Yeah.
And yeah, but Nimble Angler is big enough, because Nimble Angler is 600, so that would
It's 400.
It's 600.
Oh, Angler, but it was summoned in defense.
Oh, was it? Okay, no, it wasn't. But whatever.
That doesn't matter.
We're going for rank 2 here anyways. We're just deciding on what is... Oh, it's Happiness, okay.
Kevin just checking there. Can you really just summon this?
Yep.
Is that allowed?
Totally fine. Purrely Happiness is on the field. And I think Giuseppe is just trying to go into the battle phase here and scaring a Zeus, if you ask me.
And I think at this point you kind of have to go for the Skyburn already. I mean, your opponent invested the normal summon into it. And a valuable resource.
Imagine Giuseppe has Happy Memory now to protect his Purrely Happiness. That would be so good. Because it also afterwards could just attach itself to the Happiness again. And then this one could attack even multiple times afterwards. That would be the card of all time to have here, honestly.
Yeah, the question you want to ask yourself is it not okay to even let this go? But wow, this actually does resolve, threatening a Happy Memory right here, but there was none. I think in the standby phase, Ponix will return to the hand.
Okay, so, I think Giuseppe is saying, hey, I declared an attack with this. Is happiness not going to trigger? Because this says at the end of the damage step, if this card battled. But I'm pretty sure on attack declaration, the card was activated, and therefore it should not trigger anymore. I'm very sure about that.
Yeah, you have to reach damage calculation at least.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Let me tell you one thing, Skyburn can't activate in damage calculation.
That's the thing, yeah. No way. So we can clarify that that's not going to happen.
Oh.
Okay, look at that. After that, because the Ponix was destroyed, we can trigger the Garunix in hand now. Sacred Fire King Garunix trying to special summon itself out to the field.
This is looking rather good for Kevin now. He also has another set card there, and Garunix is a pretty powerful card. Now he might get into his engine a little bit more. The Ponix will return to his hand in the next standby phase.
On the Garunix.
Oh.
That's interesting. And the good thing is, Kevin so far only used monster effects in the main phase. Was it a pass?
Like a pass,
Indeed, it is a pass. So I think my idea was correct. Giuseppe had no other play but to normal summon that Nimble Beaver, and therefore he had to go for exactly that move. And after that move was stopped, it's back to Kevin. Kevin now comes in with another normal summon, and he's building up pressure. He wants to put up a lot of damage here this turn, maybe even ending the duel here.
I think this is the clear goal for him. Fire King Island is going to be activated now. Ash Blossom once again. We talked about it earlier. We spotted 2 Ash Blossoms in his hand already, and now Kevin has to find a way to win the game this turn if he wants to end it now. But
Can you negate Ash with Avatar?
That's what I was wondering. Is Avatar maybe limited to just monsters? Oh wait, no, that's Barong. Barong is the negate, and Avatar is not the negate, right?
No, Avatar is definitely the negate.
Skyburn, by the way, has a very interesting graveyard effect that it protects your monsters from being destroyed, and I'm really not sure.
It doesn't sound like what you're supposed to do.
Would have been, yeah, Avatar, you're right.
I think that's what happened here, yeah.
Okay, so let's keep on going. Kevin grabbing his deck here. Not done with his turn yet, of course. Giuseppe only sitting there with 2 measly cards in hand and nothing more. And that should be Fire King High Avatar Kirin that we are grabbing out there from our deck.
And Kirin is incredible for OTKs, let me tell you one thing. Because it can just, as a quick effect, in the main phase, okay, special summon itself by destroying a fire monster you control.
That's true, but I think we saw a very, very cool strategy yesterday of our
Circle.
Fire King opponent. And that was actually going for the Exceed, going for Garunix Eternity, high-ing of the Fire Kings, and then in the battle phase destroying that to special summon out the materials it had. And I mean, that's easily over 8,000 points of damage, and therefore that might be the way there if he gets to the Garunix though.
Yeah, so he'd need to be able to get to 2 level 8s along with the circle.
Is he playing the circle?
Let me check. I do not see circle. No, there is no circle in there.
All right, then Kevin will have to find another way to OTK right here. I thought this was the one card that you include to just OTK your opponent all the time. Also, it is pretty flexible.
Probably there's another way to just get out another level. Is it level 8? You said level 8? Yeah, it is level 8. You're right.
Yeah, is there some way to destroy it during the battle phase?
There has to be, right? It's all about destroying, so there must be a way to destroy that one as well in the battle phase. But okay, Kevin is going to show us shortly. Let's stop the guessing. Let's see the man in action here.
Garunix is being summoned. Now you can destroy something from the deck if you want to. Kirin is also always an option. However, Kirin has to destroy a card then. I don't know if it also has to destroy something from... Could destroy something from your side.
Yeah, I think it just special summons. It doesn't have to destroy anything. I think you can.
Then
you can destroy something from your side, yeah.
So we could definitely go into a rank 8 if we want to. But this alone is a lot of damage already.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. And I mean, still there is this Avatar sitting, so it's another interaction with your opponent. Oh, okay. We do destroy the Kirin.
And this might summon out another Garunix.
The Kirin has to destroy summon itself, does it?
So Kevin still thinking this through. Giuseppe making sure that he doesn't miss a single bit here. Of course, he may not be in a good position in this game, but he will always have a game free to come back to, and in that one he would be able to start again as he did impressively in game number 1.
Yeah, and then it is also really important to know what the cards of your opponents do.
Exactly. You don't only learn for life here, you learn for that game free.
Yeah, the more you get to peek into your opponent's strategy, the better.
That looks like an attack. Or is he calculating, maybe? Because this looked like an attack question mark.
If I attack, how much damage will I do?
Yeah, Kevin now, bringing out the Ponix. Ponix using its effect there.
Maybe for a second copy of Skyburn.
Yeah, but can you destroy... Can you actually use Skyburn if your opponent has nothing on the field? I think that's actually possible. Oh, no, it doesn't.
No, it's not. You're right.
But
I mean, having it as an additional interruption, it worked out very well last time, and now Giuseppe has a lot less cards in hand, so it should be working out another time. I would be confident in just grabbing Skyburn there again. Kevin took a while to figure this out, but I mean, at the end of the day, that should be a safe route to win this game here.
Yeah. Kevin has so much value right now. He's activating the Kirin right here. This is even more damage. Might be destroying the Ponix. Ponix not immediately going to trigger and special summon something or anything like that. Okay, we value the 500 attack points on the field. And this is the scoop right here.
Kevin with his Fire King strategy equaling the score 1-1. There is only one more game to come. Who is it going to be? The players are picking up their cards, shuffling, and of course immediately grabbing their side deck. And now this is where the match most likely will be decided with. Giuseppe has a couple of really interesting options in his side deck, mainly connected to number 29 Mannequin Cat, which he's already having in his extra deck, of course. He summoned that out in game number 1, but now after siding, there are some very interesting options he could rely on. The question though, Tom, you're already looking there, is there an option that's really good against Fire King though?
I'm not seeing any fire monsters to special summon. It has to summon with the same type or attribute.
Yeah, exactly, that's the case.
I don't think he's got anything specifically for this matchup. I don't know
so,
what you can
I mean,
see.
they're in this main deck, right?
Yeah, I mean, the Sprite cards are in his main deck for sure. I'm just wondering, is there any way that he could get to Archlord Christia? Because Christia is in his side deck, but there's probably no fairy monsters in the strategy of Kevin, right? So the Christia cannot do it.
Can you not summon with Mannequin Cat to your opponent's side of the field and then trigger that? I remember something like that.
Yeah,
there was a combo with Neptibus once.
But just from the graveyard of your opponent, I think.
You summon from your opponent's graveyard, and then when your opponent, a monster is summoned to your opponent's field, you can summon one of the same type or attribute from your deck.
Yeah, interestingly enough, we see that Giuseppe is also side decking Keldo and Mujora. And is there any way we bring these in versus the Fire King strategy? The problem is they are already triggering in the graveyard, right? When they are destroyed, so shuffling them back doesn't do anything, correct?
Yeah.
So probably not the way to go. Those cards are most likely sided in against Telements, which is also very popular this weekend, so it's understandable to bring them.
I don't even think that there's one card that exists that states that you can destroy something for cost, because then Mudora and Caldo would work against that. If you shuffle something back that was sent to the graveyard for cost, then it won't trigger if you shuffle it. So I don't think that this mechanic exists.
Yeah, you're right. And now, of course, also some mind games are going on while siding, because both players decide to include Nibiru into their main deck. And now, Kevin, do you keep in Nibiru versus that deck when they are constantly summoning Gigantic Sprite, which is preventing you from even using the Nibiru? Do you just hope that he has an awkward hand and he has to summon 5 times first before he gets into the Gigantic Sprite? And then, of course, the impact would be immense. But what would you say? Do you keep it in or not?
I would say no, because I think I saw Giuseppe very deliberately make that Gigantic Sprite. So he summoned 1 Purrely, and then 2 level 2s, and then a Gigantic Sprite. So I think if he's going to do that again, then that's only 4 summons, and you're not going to get to use that Nibiru.
I think he was explicitly playing around Nibiru, because the card is very popular this weekend. I've talked to a bunch of players, and they were saying, yep, you kind of have to include Nibiru at the moment, because there's a lot of decks struggling versus it. Even Labyrinth at this point very often plays into Nibiru, funnily enough, as a trap deck.
I think you actually just go for it, because in game 1 we saw a normal summon Beaver, special summon Angler, go into Sprint, special summon out 2 Beavers, and then you already have it. So I think Nibiru can make an impact depending on the head. And in this scenario, you want to go all in. You want to just, in game 3, you have the disadvantage of going second, so you want to have all the options that you can. But the players are ready. Top 32 of YCS Bologna. Let's go into game 3.
Giuseppe, not only with the advantage of going first, but also the home crowd advantage, being an Italian player here. And Kevin, has to rely on going second here and maybe resolving one of his impactful cards like evenly matched or something. But first, let's watch out. Let's have a look. What's Giuseppe going to do here?
I think the hand of Giuseppe is very interesting. It's really sprite heavy. I think I can see sprite blue and sprite carrot as well.
Ooh.
But we're starting with a My Friend Purrely first. 500 life points down the drain. However, you get to add a Purrely spell card, and I think that's just absolutely worth it.
Yeah, let's see what he's revealing here, because we've seen him reveal three different ones all the time, but immediately Kevin says, I want to keep you down on cards in hand, only 4 more left. And I think when the Purrely deck is not really getting to go, it's kind of tough for them some of the time.
Oh yes, I think that we are just going to see a big Sprite combo this turn, maybe. Even though that's like really good. Sprite is still a valid deck that can put out a big field with good interruptions.
Especially, it's kind of cool because Sprite Red does not have to destroy the monster. You can negate the effect of a monster, but you don't have to destroy the monster. And versus Fire Kings, you would only be helping them if you destroy stuff. So I think that's a cool interaction there.
Sprite starter activated. No max C chained right here because it is absolutely forbidden right here.
Totally.
We're going to special summon out the Sprite Red first, which is 1,200 damage.
I think he's got 16 minutes. That should probably do.
Yeah, I agree. It should be fine.
Does he have enough life points? If he continues playing this way, he played 2 cards so far, and he's already taken 1,700. It's getting dangerously close.
Look at that. There's also the Sprite Carrot, as you were seeing correctly. Now Sprite Blue, and we know that he's on the trap card as well. We know that he's also on Sprite Double Cross. So if he goes for Jet here, that would be probably the card he desires to get there too. And then, as you were saying, even though he does not have any access to his Purrely cards at the moment, it would be somewhat of a good opening.
Yeah, the Purrely cards are just baits right here to get those hand traps out, and now you can play Sprite as much as you want. But there is one more Purrely card in his hand, and that is Purrely. And as you have already started with My Friend Purrely, Purrely doesn't really get you anywhere. Actually, it gets you legit nowhere here.
Yeah, well, you can search a Purrely for all the good it's going to do you.
Can't even activate the effect of Purrely because there's nothing in the graveyard. Now we're going for Sprite Sprint. Nimble Angler is going to be sent to the graveyard, and then we're going to be able to summon out 2 beavers. But at this point, not even Mannequin Cat makes sense anymore because you have Carrot and Red on the field.
Yeah, I do agree. So 2 beavers, but there's other options he still has left in his extra deck. So let me just have a quick look. For example, he could just go into SP Little Knight. We have not seen him do this just yet, but that seems like a pretty strong play. But he still goes into the Mannequin Cat anyways. Okay.
Maybe he's got a surprise for us. I was wondering if you could make a Purrely XYZ and then normal summon the Lily and search the leap. Maybe that's something to do, but...
Yeah, true. That would have been an interesting way to get to X-Purrely Noir. You're right. I like that as an idea, honestly.
You should pick up the deck.
Yeah. Totally. You seem like a master in it. I asked you before the round, Tom, are you an expert by now in Purrely Sprite because we might feature it again? And you were super confident about it. And I now see why, honestly.
I've never played this deck. I've played a lot of Purrely.
Okay. Oh, we start with Impermanence on Carrot, and Kevin seems happy. Ooh. Is there going to be an evenly matched after? Because that would be the card he wants to follow this through with. Oh my, is it going to be there, though?
Is he playing it?
He is playing it, yes.
You are in Giuseppe's deck right now.
That is correct.
Oh, but there is also evenly matched in Kevin's side deck. You are absolutely correct on that one. Negating the Carrot is already dangerous. We are hearing dangerous music right here. If we are Giuseppe, this is looking dark right here if Kevin has proper follow-up.
I mean, one thing is for sure. If you are using Impermanence on Sprite Carrot, there is going to be an impactful spell or trap card coming down. Be it Engine or be it evenly matched. One of the two is very likely to come down here.
Are thinking, while there are no cards on the field, this might have been the announcement of the battle phase right here.
Oh, Kevin. Can he pull it off? Evenly matched for an insane impact here in top 32 of YCS Bologna. Is it happening? Giuseppe probably, I mean, he's considering to do something that must almost mean that we are going into the battle phase and he has to do something.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, there's no way you do this. There's no way you do this preemptively, honestly. I think we are going into the battle phase. And Giuseppe just wants to secure some kind of follow-up here.
Yeah, the one way he could summon out the Ash of his opponent to get this banished. Sprite Sprint. Oh, wow, okay.
Oh, okay. What's happening now? We can actually just get that Sprite Red to the head, and there is the Evenly Match! The crowd is going wild. Evenly Match is going to banish almost the entire field of Giuseppe, only leaving him with Mannequin Cat on the field. But it was still a smart move by Giuseppe to recover that Sprite Red there through the effect of Mannequin Cat combined with the Sprite Sprint.
Yeah, now he can use the Mannequin Cat to special summon out the Sprite Red again, so he has an interruption that is very strong.
Fire King Island coming as well for Kevin. Does he have a good monster to destroy with the Fire King Island? Ideally, there's a Fire King card he can destroy here.
Oh, and it is the Kirin, and that is the best one by far, because this one can also take out the Mannequin Cat in Resolve. If you special summon out a monster, the Mannequin Cat will be popped at the same time. So there is no Sprite Red coming down for Giuseppe afterwards.
Yeah, that is so strong here. Kevin with the perfect answers to what Giuseppe had to offer. That Evenly Match really clearing the way, and now Kevin in the driver's seat here in this.
Yeah, Giuseppe left only with one Sprite Red and one Purrely. Not very much to do next turn. Well, he will get a next turn because Evenly Matched used up the battle phase already.
And that is true. I'm incredibly excited because this is maybe the first time we are seeing an uninterrupted-ish two-card combo of the Fire Kings right here.
Yeah, I'm very excited for it too. We know Giuseppe has nothing to do here this turn anymore. And that looks like we are searching out Garunix there. Looks like an Ultra Rare that could almost only be the Garunix, to be honest. That is the wrong Kirin, indeed. Also cool Kirin, but not the right one here. But now we're going to trigger the Kirin. Kirin now would allow us to special summon out the Garunix from hand and then destroy the Mannequin Cat. Yep, Garunix, and there is the destruction of Mannequin Cat. We outed the entire field. 0 cards left currently for Giuseppe, and Kevin is just getting started.
Yes, now we are going to see the true power of the Fire Kings unfold. I was going to say True Kings, but the Fire Kings, they just got rolling here. We are destroying the Kirin, getting rid of the Mannequin Cat, and there is no follow-up from Giuseppe as well. He needs to draw into one of those memory cards.
Yep, Giuseppe's world right now kind of on fire, and Kevin sitting there like a king, and he really is going strong here. Sending Barong now to the graveyard.
That should get you some follow-up for the turn after next.
Oh, and Prosperity too! What a hand that was for Kevin! Looking into the graveyard before deciding on which cards to banish there.
I can imagine that you definitely want to pick up some non-engine right here. You maybe want to go for an Ash Blossom or something on the likes of that. Have we normal summon? Is there maybe a Ponix that you want to pick up?
Yeah, I don't think we have normal summon, and therefore Ponix seems like a good choice, and then Ponix just get out Fire King Skyburn again, and that has worked out in the last game, so why not again here?
Arvata also a very good option. One extra monster negate.
Fairly certainly true. Okay, so we have decided on 6 cards that we are banishing, and now let's see what there is. Prosperity not the choice, but okay, we can decide between Arvata and Ponix. Both cards have been revealed there.
There's also a Skyburn, so there's a possibility to skip some steps and just take the Ponix and add the Skyburn to hand. Of course, we want to resolve everything correctly, so Kevin will now take his time. He is thinking, are we going to definitely not pick the Pot of Prosperity?
Okay.
So that one's out of the way.
I was like, you are really going to pick the Prosperity there, but he just makes sure to immediately put it away, so it's not giving him any bad ideas there. Okay, and I think Ponix is going to be the card we have settled on, and that is ready to be normal summoned right away.
Have a Destroy 2+. Good follow-up in the next turn as well, because if Ponix gets destroyed, you can add it back to your hand in the standby phase. If we are even going for the Skyburn, yes, we absolutely are.
The Barong as well in the graveyard. It's a bit like Skarm, but you have to wait even longer, not just to the end phase, but to your next standby phase, and then you get to search a card.
Yeah.
Be patient, everyone.
But I'm confident, honestly, that Kevin is going to get that time. I think we are going to have the time to get to our next turn, and then it's going to be high value. Oh, and I think we picked up another monster card there for Giuseppe, and Giuseppe is in the need of spell cards, honestly, because he wants some of the quick play spells of the Purrely deck to now, after his Sprite engine kind of getting countered, play with his Purrely engine.
But he can now normal summon Purrely to just add a My Friend Purrely and then hope that that works.
Ooh, I think we used Ash Blossom on the Barong then, right?
Maybe Barong is just the next standby phase rather than your next.
Yeah, it is just the next standby phase, you're right. So we just used Ash Blossom on that, but that tells Kevin, hey, I only have 2 cards left, and you only have to face 2 more cards. And he even knows now what the other card is. There's only Sprite left, Sprite Red left in the hand, so I think Kevin is feeling good about this. Giuseppe grabbing the deck, and probably just getting my friend Purrely here.
Kind of has to. If he goes for Purrely, that would be devastating for him. So we're grabbing the My Friend Purrely. Now it all comes down to some good hits by Giuseppe. I'm just questioning if he even has a way out of this, because the Skyburn looks so good.
Yeah, there's no chance that Kevin will let this resolve, right? You pay 500 and then...
Yeah, I think if we just use the Skyburn there and then goodbye My Friend Purrely, then it's not that good of a friend anymore, to be honest, when we just chain Skyburn to it.
Definitely not.
Okay, there it is. My Friend Purrely. Activation, of course, fine. Kevin saying yes. And then to the effect activation, we are chaining Fire King Skyburn. We are destroying both cards on the side of Giuseppe and both of our own. But our own are going to be replaced soon. And it's going over to Kevin. Once again, 5,800 life points to overcome. Ponix back to his hand.
This is not a follow-up with which you easily OTK on Kevin's side right here, but he has the Fire King Island, he has the Ponix, and he has the top decked card, so he can just try to play on right here. He also has the Garunix in the graveyard.
Yeah, he just has the ability to normal summon the Ponix, get another Skyburn for next turn, then use the Fire King Island. He's got the world in his hands here.
Yeah, Ponix going for the Surge. That would be a card, though, that you maybe side out a second copy of, that Fire King Skyburn. I could imagine that, but no. As you can see, Kevin just says, nah, this card is super good to break fields, and therefore we are going to keep it in twice. Now, the Fire King Island activating, destroying the Ponix. And Kevin getting to summon out another monster.
He's not certainly sure what he's going to take. He might go for the Kirin because it is very flexible. You can also use it to special summon itself in the opponent's main phase. This might help you play around any card. I'm very curious to see what Kevin has drawn for turn, because now the High Avatar Garunix is being special summoned right here. You can destroy something else from the deck as well. This is looking very good for Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin nodding. He's agreeing with you, Leo. This is looking good for me. I'm on my way to top 16 of this YCS with one of the most creative decks left in the field, Fire King. Just 3 days ago, as I was saying earlier, getting the new structure deck. The cards you can see there right now, Garunix, Kirin, they're brand new, just around for a couple of days, and still Kevin managed to master them already. All right, Kirin now in the graveyard, activating. Barong being summoned out.
This is not quite enough to go for a game right here. The question is, does he have a way to deal more damage than that, or will this be a slow victory for him? He activates the Kirin. We're getting closer.
Summon out, attacking for game! Kevin Semlali moving on to top 16 of YCS Bologna with Fire Kings. What a show he is putting up there. Impermanence, evenly matched, and then all the Fire King stuff after. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, he's clearly a crowd favorite as well, which is really exciting to see. It's so great to be here in Italy, and, you know, seeing the Italian win on stream means, you know, we get the
let me correct
crowd.
you. He's French, actually. He's from France, yeah. But I mean...
Still a crowd favorite.
Yeah, for sure. Historically, the French people have always had a loud crowd, a lot of supporters, and of course the deck also does the rest, because the people, of course, want to see the underdog decks drive, and therefore I'm not surprised that the crowd love that.
And I'm convinced on 2 Skyburn now. We have seen players play one of those, but 2 Skyburn, this card is just so good, and apparently this deck, if you do not include the circle, has sometimes trouble to win the games in one turn, to deal 8,000 damage to your opponent in one turn. So you might want to go for a more grindy approach. Do you like not playing the circle?
Honestly, yes. I have to say I like the consistent approach, the grindy approach. There are a lot of grindy decks right now in the format that you have to play a bunch of turns with. We saw that Labyrinth is super popular, so I honestly just like playing it slow, playing it safe, and we see it's working out like a charm. And still, you're able to summon out a lot of big attack monsters, and therefore you will be ending turns quickly.
But keep in mind that Circle of the Fire Kings is not like Sprite Gamma Burst, for example. That is purely a card that you use to OTK. This card is very flexible. You destroy one card on your field and you special summon out another Fire King. So this could also be an extender or help you in the grind game later on.
You're right.
Yeah, playing around things like Infinite Impermanence or other kinds of effect negation. It does seem like a really fun card. Seems like the sort of card, though, you'd love to have sometimes, and then sometimes you don't want to have. Whereas the Skyburn a bit more consistent. Why only 2, Leo?
Why only 2 Skyburns?
Let's throw in the first one. Let's throw in the first one. Why not?
I think you can search it sometimes.
Yeah.
And I mean, you want to search it. This is not necessarily
For
something
sure.
you want to hard draw, because of course you want to have your consistent cards. You want to be able to play. You want to have the Fire King Islands. You want to have all of those monsters that you can destroy. But you want to, because sometimes 1 is not enough. You have seen this time. If he only had 1 Skyburn, then he might have lost that game. But we have talked a lot about Fire King now, but let's have the expert have the chance to talk about Fire King. Ed is ready for the interview.
I'm here with that Fire King expert, Leo. Right here I have Kevin, who's just won that top 32 feature match, and it's super exciting to see. You've got something in your hand. Show us. There it is, the Fire King.
The chicken are back.
So happy with it.
I start playing this game competitively with Neftis, my ace cards, and now I succeed to put it in top. So in a way, it's the children of Neftis, but I'm happy.
So what is it that you like so much about Fire Kings? Because it's relatively new. Some of these cards only came out in the structure deck recently.
Exactly. You have the Jeff Jones syndrome. Everyone is looking in Japan, saying Fire King is playable there, but think we have to wait 3 months. Now I'm taking the months 2 months before the Populous, and it works a bit. And a lot of people, even the pro players, has to read the card. Always, always, always. Shout out to the guy who give me the deck in English, Ryan, who helped me during all the game, because I'm known to be a very long player. I want to kill you at the last turn of the time with all your life points. But during the tournament, I don't have to translate all the cards thanks to him. And it helped me so much, because when you play a challenger deck like that, no one knows. You have to. It's easier when you have the English translation.
Absolutely, it would certainly be easier for me. I wouldn't be able to read them.
At least the cards are too new, so too many people are so expecting stuff from Japan that they are not here anymore. So I'm in a timeline with cards that they don't really know.
Well, let's talk about the game, because obviously the first one, Giuseppe built up a huge field. You couldn't really do anything, so you just went to the scoop. So what's going through your mind in game 1?
I was about thinking to scoop, because I don't want to show him too many cards. But Samir says, if your opponent gives you a weakness, a misplay, you have to see it. So I have to play. I probably did myself a misplay, not chaining my quick play to the trap. But at least the Noir will break all my play on this time. So I was about to lose anyway, because the Noir will beat the island anyway. I was building the deck thinking about Noir, because it's really popular in France. I was hesitating pushing 1 coup de color, because you can search it with the Snake Eye. But I finally decided to don't play any Snake Eye today.
Interesting. Well, it's clearly worked out for you. Look how well this has gone. Your second game, a really good performance display of that Fire King deck. And then when we get into game 3, that was where things got really exciting. You obviously had to go second. He had a really good opening hand with the sprite stuff, but then you had that huge, evenly matched, and then you just proceeded to go through and take life points.
I see the hurt of the cards when I see evenly plus imperm. He didn't see any Purrely. Unfortunately for him, he saw it too much in the first game. So when I cracked the Ash, because it was free, I think. And after that, I was just expecting he has only 1 omni-negatable spell trap. He don't play the frogs. It's not the deck. So I was just over lucky to see the side deck, as we say.
Well, here we go. You are now on your way to that top 16 cut. Do you think you could take it all the way with Fire Kings?
I'm not sure. I have to do it because a friend want me in his team, and I told him I have to win the event to be there. So I am with no team now.
Well, Kevin, best of luck to you. It's been great chatting to you. Congratulations on your win. Best of luck in the top 16 cut. We might be seeing you later. Guys, don't go anywhere. We've got plenty more coverage coming your way. We've got that top 16 feature match, hopefully very soon. But before that, we're actually going to have Joshua Schmidt teaching Basti exactly how this Fire King deck